Meanwhile, our own Benjamin Hall, the correspondent, has firsthand knowledge of previous raids and mistakes that were made. Let's go to him right now. Benjamin, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I was in Belgium soon after the Paris attacks and witnessing the raids, one raid after another as they desperately tried to find the people connected to those Paris attacks. 4 months later, the one guy they were still looking for managed to get away until just a few days ago. What it really felt like back then was that they were raiding every house they could find. They ended up releasing 90% of the people they found, and big questions being asked now about exactly what happened, what they were able to do, which was successful since then. The one raid that they did get last Tuesday, the house that Abdel Salam fled from, they found a large cache of weapons in that, many heavy weapons, a lot of ammunition. So the big question now is, were they planning other attacks alongside these suicide attacks? Were they planning to perhaps have multiple gunmen alongside these suicide attacks? We're not sure, but what is clear is that the raids that have been going on for the last 4 months have not been as successful as anyone would have liked. And again, who knows how many more people are still out there?
You're one of the few reporters that actually was in Syria as it began to fall apart and terror activity began to flourish. And you see that a lot of these guys from Belgium and women were going from Europe to Syria and getting their training and able to get back. Can you describe the process? Is it really as easy as it sounds?
Early on, it really was that easy. I crossed that Turkish-Syrian border a number of times, and it was as simple as waiting for nightfall to cover, climbing underneath a barbed wire fence, maybe crossing a river, and you were in. And sometimes we would cross, and there would be, countless other people just queuing up to go in. We do hear that Turkey is apparently trying to stop more people going, but we do still hear about them coming, and more importantly, they are coming back. Abdel Salam returned from Syria, where he was with ISIS, in 2014. Some of the other Paris attackers came back hidden as refugees, and let's not forget that number last year. Over 1 million refugees came to Europe, and we just have to ask ourselves how many terrorists are hiding among them.
Benjamin, what about security at the airports? I know you're in London. I understand security is tight now, and more officers have been called into the airports there. The airports also in Amsterdam and Paris, Frankfurt.
Around Europe, security is really being heightened at the moment, and in England we are now at level severe, which does mean a threat is likely, but we think that's more of a precaution than due to any specific threats. London has been planning and preparing for a trip, an attack like this for some time, and actually since the Paris attackers, they changed the kind of attack they were planning for. It used to be lone wolf, people who were radicalized online and went out and committed a crime. Now they plan for these larger scale network attacks, up to 10 possible attacks simultaneously. We're seeing 2 or 3 today, but this is now the threat. It's the networks, and this is what they're planning for. And across London now, there is certainly a heightened alert, and across Europe, because the priority is to prevent any other attacks today, and then after that the questions will be asked: how did it happen, what went wrong?
Absolutely.